Now we move to Matters Health, where at KICC, a national conference is ongoing there on matters the COVID-19 pandemic. The conference is set to unveil some containment measures and just how the country is going to move forward into the new normal, as well as just how the economy is going to be built again after the shock it went through when the COVID-19 pandemic hit. Our reporter Purity Museo is on the ground there. What is the latest, Purity?
A very good afternoon to you, Betty. We are indeed coming to you live from the Savo ballroom right here at the Kenyatta International Convention Center. And as you can see behind me, the preparations already all is set actually for this very first national conference on the COVID-19 pandemic. And this conference is expected to be graced by His Excellency President Uhuru Kenyatta. And stakeholders are already here. And part of the reasons why the country is holding this conference is to just chart the way forward and have some of the containment measures that will help the country or guide the country into the adapting to the new normal of the COVID-19 pandemic. So stakeholders are already here, and discussions on what ought to be adopted during this time, especially on the new containment measures, are here, and they include the education stakeholders, the health stakeholders, the business sector as well, because when we review the statement that was issued by the head of the public service, Joseph Kinyua, he had said that part of the reason that we are having this conference is to try to find some sustainable strategy on also with regard to the reviving the economy and the tourism sector. And we have already seen the Teacher Service Commission issuing guidelines on how schools should be reopened, and also directing teachers to go back to school beginning today, Monday the 28th. And of course, the teachers are represented today, and of course Kenyans expecting a lot from this conference, and this conference will also be followed by the 12th presidential address on COVID-19. And recently, Betty, as you've seen, the Ministry of Health officials have been quoted saying that we are on a downward trajectory in regard to the COVID-19 infections in the country, and therefore claims that the curve is flattening. And we are also seeing the health officials or the health practitioners saying that the country should not be guided by the low number of cases that are being reported every day, because this they attribute to the lower testing capacity that we have in the country. And therefore it's a wait and see whether the president is going, or what some of these new containment measures that we are going to be adapting moving forward. And this one is a conference that is charting the way forward for this country. So the head of state will be speaking, and of course we've also seen Deputy President will also be here, former Prime Minister Raila Odinga will also be here, and also the ministers from different sectors. Most of the cabinet secretaries have already arrived, including the ICT, CS, they are already here, and so we'll be keen to just note what are some of the suggestions. Remember, these are suggestions. The health CS, Mutai Kagwe, Betty, is also expected to hand over a COVID-19 emergency committee report, and these will include some of the suggestions that the committee is suggesting should be adopted moving forward. That is from tomorrow, when the head of state is now supposed to or expected to give his final stand on the new containment measures that will push this country forward with the new normal. And Betty, with the reopening of the economy, the country has already opened its airspace for a number of countries, including countries like United States of America, which have quite a high number of COVID-19 cases, and questions why that African countries have not been hardly hit by this virus. Still scientists trying to find answers for these questions. And of course, as we speak, the country has about 38,000 cases of COVID-19, and 691 people have succumbed to COVID-19, and this is actually 1.1% fatality rate, and we have about 64% recovery rate of COVID-19. So owing to all these factors, and of course there will be suggestions from different people, including teachers. Remember the debate on the opening of schools, and the CS is yet to announce the date for the reopening of schools. schools. But as we can see, the teachers were able to report back to schools today to prepare according to the guidelines given by the TSC. Then it's a wait and see when schools will be reopening and whether the head of state will be lifting these containment measures. Remember, we started in March when the country went into a curfew. That was a dusk to dawn curfew, and then later on, months later, we saw the head of state trying to ease some of these restrictions, including extending the curfew, yes, but now the timelines were 9 p.m. to 5 p.m. We also saw the social distancing issues being emphasized, and some of the places were opened, including places of worship, but under restrictions. But entertainment joints continue to be closed, and the economy is hurting, as people are saying. And even as the world was celebrating the World Tourism Day, of course, we had the tourism stakeholders saying that something ought to be done to bring the tourism sector back to on its feet. So these are some of the issues that will be discussed tonight, and they will be given an opportunity, Betty, to speak and try to suggest, come up with suggestions what should be adopted in all the sectors. So we'll be seeing whether what the stakeholders have been talking about and the committees that have been formed, what they are coming up with, and finally hear from the head of state on what exactly is going to adopt moving forward, Betty. So that is it, and this conference is about to begin at around 1:30. It's almost beginning, and therefore we'll be coming to you live from the KICC. It's back to you for now, and we'll of course be updating you on what transpires right here at the KICC. Betty and Purity Museo, it's back to you.
So there from the KICC, following up on that conference, the COVID-19 pandemic conference that is set to unveil a number of containment measures that will guide the country into the new normal as well as economic recovery. Museo says that, of course, this conference will determine what, or rather will inform what the president will tell the country in his State of the Nation address that is going to happen tomorrow, as well as that COVID-19 emergency committee report that is set to be handed over to him by the Health CS Mutahi Kagwe. That will be coming to you live here on Channel 1 just after these news. But now